Hello everyone. Thank you for being here. We are looking at a few word problems from ratio and proportion in today's video. The main concepts of ratio and proportion I've already covered in a previous video whose link is given in the description below. Let's begin with a simple problem. A bag contains coins in the denomination of rupees 10, rupees 5 and rupees 2 in the ratio 6 is to 7 is to 5. The total amount in the bag is rupees 1050. Find the number of 2 rupee coins. There are 4 options given to you. These are the coins we have in the bag. And you're finding the number of 2 rupee coins. These coins are in the ratio 6 is to 7 is to 5. What does this mean? Using the very basic definition of ratio concept, number of 10 rupee coins will be 6x, 5 rupee coins will be 7x, and 2 rupee coins will be 5x. That is the meaning of ratio. The value of money from 10 rupee coins will be 10 multiplied by 6x. Similarly, 5 multiplied by 7x. 2 multiplied by 5x. And if you sum these three different terms, you get the total amount in the bag. And that's given to be 1050 in the problem. So you can equate the whole thing to 1050. You get a simple equation. Now the sum of 60, 35, 10 is 105x. The right side is 1050. Now to get x, take 105 to the right side. Multiplication becomes division, and this on simplification 10. So x is equal to 10. And we are asked to find out what number of 2 rupee coins, which is 5x. So this will be the number of coins of the denomination 2 rupees. That's equal to 5x, and x is found to be 10. So 5 multiplied by 10, which is 50. And that is the third option given in the problem. In fact, we can find out the number of coins of other denominations also, but the problem is about getting the number of 2 rupee coins only. Now let's look at the next problem. The ratio of income to expenditure of A is 5 is to 3 and that of B is 7 is to 6. If the savings of A is 4 times that of B, find the ratio of the total income of A and B to the total expenditure of A and B. As we know, income minus expenditure equal to savings. There are two people, A and B. The first sentence talks about the ratio of income and expenditure of A. Let me write income here, expenditure, savings. We are given the ratio of income and expenditure of A as 5 is to 3, which implies what? Income will be 5x and expenditure will be 3x. That is the basic meaning of ratio. Similarly, you are given the same ratio for the other person as 7 is to 6, which is another ratio. So you take another multiple, 7y and 6y. So the third row is savings, which is income minus expenditure. That is 5x minus 3x, 2x. So 2x is the savings of A. Similarly, savings of B will be 7y minus 6y, which is y. And what are we asked to compare? We are asked to find out the ratio of the total income of A and B. The first term in the ratio is total income of A and B. See, this is the income of A, this is the income of B. Their sum will be this total income. So 5x plus 7y. Similarly, total expenditure of A and B. That is sum of these two. These are the expenditures. 3x plus 6y. Now we are taking the ratio of these two. That will be 5x plus 7y divided by 3x plus 6y. This is the ratio. Now you have got some, this is y. You got some multiples or unknowns, x and y, which we should eliminate. For that, there is something else given in the problem. What is that? They say savings of A, which is what? 2x. This is savings of A. That is said to be 4 times savings of B, which is y. So 4 multiplied by y. This means dividing 2 both sides, you get x equals 2y. Now x equal to 2y, we will substitute here. Rather, we will eliminate x by y. Instead of x, let me write 2y. 7y, we write it as it is. Divided by, similarly, 3x. Oh, I made a mistake here, sorry. X is to be replaced by 2y. So, yeah, x, and we will write like this. 5 multiplied by x. Instead of x, I will write 2y. Okay. Similarly, 3 multiplied by x. X is 2y. So let me write 2y here. 6y, we will write as it is. 5 multiplied by 2y is 10y. 10y plus 7y is 17y. So let me write 17y here. In the denominator, 3 multiplied by 2y, 6y, plus 6y, 12y. Y and y will cancel out and you will get 17 over 12. So this is the final ratio, 17 is to 12, which is given as the second option here. Now there is a slightly different approach you can have. See, x equals to 2y implies what? X divided by y will be 2 divided by 1. So you can just put x equal to 2 here and y equal to 1 here and simplify. You will get this. You don't need to write x is equal to 2y. That is another approach. What I meant is this. See, here this one will be 5 multiplied by x equals to, we are using the particular value, 7 multiplied by 1 divided by 3 multiplied by 2, 6 multiplied by y equals 1. So just 6. Simplify. You get 17 over 16. Now let's move to the third problem. The question is this. A certain amount of money was distributed among A, B, C in the ratio 1 over 2 is to 2 over 3 is to 2 over 5. If the same amount were to be divided among X, Y, Z in the ratio 2 is to 3 is to 5, X would have got rupees 9400. Find the amount received by A. These are the four options. We will use a variable to denote the total amount being distributed among A, B, C. Let the variable A denote the amount being distributed among A, B, C in the ratio 1 over 2 is to 2 over 3 is to 2 over 5. Here the terms of the ratio are in fractions. So let's first convert this into a ratio of whole numbers. So what to do for that? Multiply this ratio throughout by the LCM of these denominators 2, 3 and 5. What is the LCM of 2, 3, 5? 30. So when you multiply this ratio by 30, this is what you get. 30 multiplied by 1 over 2 is to 30 multiplied by 2 over 3, 30 multiplied by 2 over 5. Now cancelling like this, 15, then cancelling like this, 10 multiplied by 2, 20. Similarly here 6, product of 6 and 2, 12. So this ratio is the same as this ratio. Now we can handle it better. What is the meaning of this ratio? If you take the total amount as sum of these components, which is 47, if 47 rupees is distributed among the three people, 15 will go to A. That means if 1 rupee is distributed, 15 over 47 is the amount received by A. But we have taken A as the total amount. So A multiplied by 15 over 47 will be the amount received by A, which is what the question is about. But we don't know the value of this small a. So to find out that, there is some additional information given in the problem, which says what? If the same amount were to be divided among X, Y, Z, the amount received by X is 9,400. So this is the ratio, X, Y, Z, let me write. And the ratio is given to be 2 is to 3 is to 5. And the meaning of this ratio is If you take 10 rupees, see 2 plus 3 plus 5, 10, two parts will go to X. Rather, if 1 rupee is distributed among these three people, 2/10 will go to X, which implies if A is the total amount distributed among, see, same amount being distributed among X, Y, Z, X will receive A multiplied by 2 divided by 10. But the problem says A has received 9,400 as the total amount. So you can equate this to 9,400. Now cancelling like this, you get A multiplied by 1/5 equal to 9,400. Now taking 5 to the right side, you get A. Here it is division. So on the right it becomes multiplication. You get 47,000 as A. And A is the total amount. So the total amount distributed is 47,000. And the question is about finding the amount received by A, the person A. And that's found to be this. So instead of A, let me substitute 47,000 here, multiplied by 15 divided by 47. 47 gone here once. So you have 15,000. This is the amount received by A, which is given as the first option in the problem. Fourth question is, there are 5 vessels of equal volume containing water in the ratio 5:6:7:8:9. The total quantity of water in the 5 vessels equals 35% of the total capacity of the 5 vessels. How many vessels are at least 30% full? These are the options. Here you have a ratio like 5:6:7:8:9 relating to the quantity of water in 5 vessels. And this is the question to be answered. How many vessels are at least 30% full? So it's a percentage. Percentage is nothing but a ratio. So you begin with a ratio and the question to be answered is also related to another ratio or percentage. In such cases, you don't need to stick to the precise definition of ratio. Given a ratio like this, the actual quantities will be multiples of these 5 numbers. And normally we write it as 5x, 6x and so on. So what I'm going to do is to simplify the solution, take these numbers. These are possible values or particular values of the amount of water in the 5 vessels. I will take them as the actual quantity of water. So you can take it as 5 liters, 6 liters, 7 liters, 8 liters and 9 liters as the quantity of water in these 5 vessels. If you sum these numbers, 35. So the total amount of water is 35. And the problem says what? The total quantity of water, which is 35 liters, equals 35%, which is 35 divided by 100 of what? Of means multiply. Total capacity of the 5 vessels. See, we don't know the capacity of each vessel, but they are all of the same capacity or equal volume. So if I take V as the volume of one vessel, 5V will be the total volume of or the total capacity of all the 5 vessels. That's what the problem says. 35% of the total capacity of 5 vessels, which is 5V. So here the assumption is V is the volume of one vessel. So we got an equation like this. You cancel these numbers, 35, 35, 5 goes 20 times. So finally you're going to take 20 to the left side. You will get V as just 20. I hope you understand this cancellation. So we found out the volume of each vessel as 20 liters on the assumption of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 liters being the volume of water in each of these 5 vessels. Now take the first vessel. It has 5 liters of water and the volume of the corresponding vessel is, in fact corresponding doesn't make sense, all the vessels are of the same capacity. So if you take the first vessel, 20 liters is the volume of the vessel and it has 5 liters of water. Obviously, this shows the vessel is 1/4 full. 1/4 is nothing but 25%. So what does that imply? The first vessel is 25% full. Now take the second one, which has 6 liters of water. Again, the volume of the vessel is 20 liters. So 6 liters out of 20 liters. This sounds simplifying. 3 by 10. 3 by 10 is 30%. So you can write it like this if you want. And that's equal to 30%. And the question is about finding vessels which have at least 30% water. So the second vessel has 30% water, whereas the first does not have 30%, it is below that. So this is to be excluded, this is to be included. Similarly, if you work out the percentage level of water in the third one, which has 7 liters of water, you get 7 out of 20. Obviously, this is bigger than 6 out of 20. See, third vessel has more than 30%. So this is also to be included. Using the same reasoning, the fourth and the fifth vessel are also to be included. Fourth and fifth. This is the second, this is the third, fourth, fifth. So totally 4 vessels have at least 30% water. And 4 is the third option given in the problem. You refer back to the question. The next question is this. A father wanted to divide his total assets of 25 crores among his 4 sons A, B, C, D, such that 4 times the share of A, 3 times the share of B, twice the share of C, and the share of D are all equal. How much is the share of A? These are the 4 options given to you. These options A, B, C, D means just the options only, nothing to do with this A, B, C, D. There are 2 different approaches to solving this problem. The one using the concept of ratio and the second one without ratio. Let me begin with the one making use of the concept of ratio. Look, there is a mistake most students make in problems of this kind. Since the problem talks about 4 times, 3 times and twice and all that, people tend to draw this conclusion. The amount received by these 4 sons are in the ratio. Don't make this conclusion. First bring in 4 variables like A, B, C, D to denote the share of 4 sons A, B, C, D respectively. And let's find out the ratio of the amount received by the 4 sons, which will be A is to B is to C is to D, which most people tend to take as a 4 is to 3 is to 2 is to 1, which is wrong. Now, how to find out the correct ratio? We will use the data given in the problem. What does it say? 4 times the share of A. A is assumed to be the share of capital A. So 4 times means 4A. 3 times B, that is 3 multiplied by B. Then twice the share of C means 2C. Then the last one, D. They are all given to be equal. So put equal sign. And when you work out the ratio, you will never get this one. So let me show you how to work out the ratio A is to B is to C is to D from this chain of equalities. Let me combine the first and last. See, everything you can convert A, B, C in terms of D to find out the ratio. So 4A equals D. Taking 4 to the right side, you have A equals D divided by 4. Using the simple principle of equation, here it is multiplication, on the right it becomes division. Similarly, combining these two, you get 3B equal to D. So B equal to D by 3. Similarly, I don't need to see combining 2C equal to D, you can write C as D by 2. And then there is D. Now, A is to B is to C is to D will be A, let's substitute its value in terms of D, which is D over 4. Similarly, B, D over 3, C, D over 2. Then there is this D, which we will be repeating. Now we got a ratio with the fractional terms. So to convert this into a ratio of whole numbers, the first thing you can observe is D is common. So let's divide the ratio throughout by D. If you divide or multiply a ratio by the same number, the ratio will not change. So D will cancel out. You will be getting 1 over 4, 1 over 3, 1 over 2, and then this one. See, basically this is what I have done. D by 4, when you divide it by D, this is what you have. And these two cancelled, 1 over 4. Okay. Now to get rid of these denominators, take the LCM of 432. LCM is 12. Multiply this ratio throughout by this LCM. You have 12 multiplied by 1 over 4, 12 multiplied by 1 over 3, 12 multiplied by 1 over 2, and then 12 multiplied by 1. Simplify this. It goes 3 times. This goes 4 times. 2 goes 6 times. And then there is 12. So this is the correct ratio and not this one. Okay. Now that we have got the ratio, how do you find out the share of A? The question is about finding the amount received by A. See, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. If you sum up, what do you have? 25. If there is a 25 rupees, 3 rupees will go to A. Rather, if there is 1 rupee, 3 divided by 25 will go to A. But the total amount is given to be 25 crores, isn't it? So you are just dividing 25 in this ratio, and this is the amount that goes to A. 25, 25 cancel, you get 3 crore, which is given as the first option in the problem. We can find out the shares of all the 4 sons using this approach. But they need only A. In fact, look at the other options. 4 is the amount received by B, 6 is the amount received by C, and 12 is that of D. I'm leaving it to you to find out these things. Anyway, the correct answer is this because the question is about finding A only. There is one more method to solve this problem. In this method, we will not make use of the concept of ratio or proportion. In the next method, which is not based on the concept of ratio, we use the same steps as before to begin with. We have taken A, B, C, D as the share of each of the 4 sons. Then the problem says times the share of the first son, 3 times the share of the second one, and twice the share of the third one, and the share of the last one. They are all given to be equal. In the previous method from this chain of equalities, we found out the ratio of A is to B is to C is to D. But here, we won't find this ratio. Instead, like we did before, find A in terms of D. See, 4A equals D. This shows A equals D over 4. Similarly, equating 3B to D, you have B equals D over 2. Now 2C equal to D. Taking 2 to the right side, you will have C equals D by 2. Now we know the total amount getting distributed among the 4 sons. These are the shares of each of the sons. Sum of these shares, which is A plus B plus C plus D, will be equal to 25 crore because there's the money getting divided among these 4 sons. Instead of A, we will write D over 4. Similarly, B, D over 3. Sorry, I made a mistake here. This is 3. When B is taken to the right side, you have D divided by 3. So D over 3 and C is D over 2. And the last one, D, equals 25. Now we got a simple equation with just one variable, D. We can easily solve for D. So what do you do for that? It's a fractional equation. The denominators are 4, 3, 2. Let's multiply the whole equation with the LCM of 4, 3, 2, which is 12. So 12 multiplied by D over 4 plus 12 multiplied by D over 3, D over 2 plus 12D on the left side and the right side 25 multiplied by 12. when dividing or multiplying an equation by a certain number, it should be done on both sides. So this goes 3 times, you get 3D. This goes 4 times, 4D, 6 times, 6D plus 12D equals 25 multiplied by 12. 3 plus 4, 7, 7, 13, 13, 25. This is 25. D equals 25 multiplied by 12. 25, 25 cancel. You get D as 12. Now, the problem is about finding A, the share of the person A. So, how to find out A? We know that A equals D divided by 4. So, A equals D divided by 4 and D found to be 12. Substituting that here, you get 3. So 3 crore. This is the amount received by the first son, which is what we got in the previous method also. So this is the second method. In fact, this is slightly shorter in my opinion. You decide which one is shorter and go by that. I have shown you the two different approaches. If there is any specific problem you are unable to solve in ratio and proportion, please mention that in the comment section. I'll certainly give you the solution. If you liked what you saw in the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.